the laws of the land. The sooner you get to know them, the sooner your life will be easier. See, depending on the region that you want to work in, there are different, like I said before, the fundamental principles apply to everything, but from various region to region, such as, say, England or the UK versus Hollywood or Miami versus Toronto or Vancouver, there are slight differences in how the system works. And you need to understand that. If you're going to live in Vancouver, you need to know how Vancouver works in relation to the business. You need to understand what kind of shows that they're produced there and whether or not you have an opportunity for these shows. Now, we'll talk more about these opportunities later, but the environment is about pooling together all these resources that are going to help you better define how you're going to earn a living doing what you love. Now, laws of the land, I see actors make many, many mistakes. They just take off and they go to LA, regardless of where they're from, and they think that they're just going to be welcomed with open arms and that it's going to be easy for them to get work, and because they've got the je ne sais quoi, that they think they have something special. Well, listen, there's so much competition, and the world has changed. Since 9/11, it's been much, much more difficult for actors to get their visas or their working papers in the United States. Whether you're going to New York or you're going to LA or you're going to Chicago, wherever, it's changed. And you need to understand that if that is a goal of yours down the line, then you need to start working on it now and understand what the rules are. Because there's a saying, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Well, I believe that's very true. The Actor Advantage program is all about doing the work beforehand so that you can be wild and free as an artist. And one of the biggest problems is if you don't know the rules of the region in which you are working out of, you're going to be very, very frustrated. For instance, some regions are much more strict about actors. They have to have agents. Some regions, smaller markets, will allow actors not to have any representation. Now, an actor will say, well, that shouldn't matter. There's just, I'm a good actor, it shouldn't matter. But the reality of it is it's not the fact that you're not a good actor. It's the fact that if you get the job, then they have to negotiate with you. And if you're not as experienced in contracts, then it's just a hassle that they don't want to face. So there are regions and various organizations and production houses that will require actors to have agents because they just know that when it comes to the negotiating and the contract, both parties are experienced, therefore it's going to get done quickly and efficiently. So again, this all comes back to knowing the laws of the land or knowing the laws of the region that you're going to be working out of. And that being said is do the research. Find out how the casting process works in the region that you're going to be. Who are the main players? I mean, we'll talk more about that later, but it's about understanding how does it work. Read the instructions, and if you don't have the instructions, go find the instructions. Take somebody out for a coffee. But again, with the web now, everything is so transparent that with just a little research on your behalf, you're going to be able to find the information you need on that particular region. You're going to be able to research the casting directors, the producers, what's going on, what's shooting. And that's going to give you, again, I want you to remember to have the high ground when it comes to getting the lay of the land. I want you to win. And understanding your environment, it amazes me how few actors really know what's going on in their region. Actors need to understand that there are particular types of shows. Certain cities seem to attract more sci-fi shows, whereas other cities attract more police and drama shows. So you need to ask yourself as an actor, if you're thinking about moving somewhere or setting up, well, what does that region have that's different than this one? And how does it work over there? And that's the biggest thing, is that we make mistakes. We just show up and we figure, oh, everybody's going to cut us some slack and everything's going to work out. And we'll just play by ear. And that just doesn't cut it. There is so much competition. Do yourself the favor, whether you're going to remain in the region that you're in, or you're moving to a new region, or changing agents, or whatever, understand the laws of the land. It's going to save you a lot of heartache. So, this action item, what I would like you to do is define the region that you're going to work in. If you're staying where you are, do some research on it. I'm willing to bet that most actors haven't done this. Research the region, research the unions, understand how it works. Just knowledge is power. And the more knowledge you have when it comes to understanding your environment, the greater advantages that you're going to have, the less frustration you're going to have. So download the PDF that's attached and mark off the checklist one by one. Make sure that there's a list there, it's easy for you to use. I want you to understand how to assess your environment, and that's going to give you an advantage over your competition. You can do this. Never been a better time to be in show business, and it doesn't matter where you are. You can succeed at earning a living doing what you love. There's never been a better time to be in show business.